Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. That chip shortage may be crippling automotive production around the world, but it's sure not crippling profits. Daimler posted its preliminary second quarter earnings, and there's black ink all over the place. It earned 5.1 billion euros over the last 3 months before interest and taxes. 3.4 billion of that came from selling cars and vans. 820 million euros came from selling heavy trucks, and 924 million came from a part of the business they call Daimler Mobility, which offers financing, leasing, and insurance. As we've reported, used car prices have soared due to low inventory of new vehicles, which led to a shortage of used cars, causing prices to spike. And even though inventory is still tight, used car prices are starting to drop. Wholesale prices for top-selling vehicles at Manheim's auctions fell 1.3% in June compared to May. However, prices are still 34% higher compared to June of last year. But Cox Automotive says prices are returning to normal, and buyers will start seeing better deals compared to the spring. There are probably too many EV startups in the world to survive, but that's not stopping entrepreneurs that want to create the next Tesla. Meet Leap Motor, the latest EV startup to start selling cars in China. It plans to sell 800,000 EVs a year by 2025, but it sold less than 4,000 mini cars and SUVs last month. It's being funded largely with government investment money, so that means it will probably not be allowed to fail no matter how bad things get. And while sales of new energy vehicles are soaring in China, a subsidiary of the Beijing automotive industry company that makes new energy vehicles can't seem to get things going. It sold only 318 cars last month, which is a complete disaster. Sales dropped 77%, even though the total NEV market was up 177%. And that should be a warning to all EV startups. Just because you make cars doesn't automatically mean people will rush out to buy them. Chevy is still having issues with bolts catching on fire, and as a precaution, General Motors is telling owners to park their cars outside and not charge them overnight because 2 bolts recently caught fire after recall repairs were made. GM says it's moving as quickly as it can to investigate the issue, which affects about 50,000 bolts from 2017 through 2019. It recommends owners follow the steps until it comes up with a fix. Last November, GM recalled the bolt because of battery fires, and in April it came out with diagnostic software to look for problems in the batteries. But obviously, there's still an issue. Goodyear has developed an airless tire for autonomous shuttles. The tire maker has tested the tire for the past 3 years with local motors using its Ollie shuttle. And now it will be tested in the real world in Jacksonville, Florida, as part of its autonomous vehicle Test and Learn program. Airless tires could be ideal for autonomous shuttles because they don't require as much maintenance and are longer lasting, which means you can keep them in operation longer. Volkswagen revealed how much buyers will have to shell out for the new GTI and R versions of the Mark 8 Golf. The GTI starts around $30,500, including destination, and goes up to just under $40,000 for a top-of-the-line Autobahn model. With the Golf R, your choice is really, do you want a manual or a dual-clutch automatic? The The manual starts just over $44,500, while the DSG tacks on another $800. You know, these are two of the best hot hatches coming out into the market, but to me, that still seems like a lot of money.
The age of silicones began at Wacker more than 70 years ago. Whether you're looking for thermal management of battery systems or the protection of electronics, let your innovations be powered by Wacker silicones. Visit us at wacker.com. E-mobility powered by Wacker silicones.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
While Lucid Motors has been impacted by the global chip shortage, its Air sedan is scheduled to come out soon. And to make sure its customers are confident that their vehicle will get them to their destination consistently and reliably, it's revealed its warranty and service plans. The limited warranty covers basic vehicle issues for 4 years or 50,000 miles, whichever comes first, while the powertrain and battery are covered for 8 years or 100,000 miles. If there's a problem with the vehicle, there's a number of avenues to take to get it fixed through its service plan called Lucid Care, which is very similar to what Tesla has done. Most repairs can be handled by over-the-air updates and mobile techs who come right to you to fix the car. Their service vehicles are even equipped with a coffee maker so the owner can enjoy a warm brew while their vehicle is being worked on. For more serious issues, Lucid will tow the car for free to one of its service locations, which it says is rapidly growing and includes satellite or independent service facilities. We just had the new Honda Civic come through the Autoline garage, and one thing we can say is that it has sure grown up. What used to be a small, light, athletic econobox has morphed into a larger, quieter, more comfortable sedan. Size-wise, the 11th generation of the Civic is probably as big as the original Honda Accord. Maybe that's why it outsold the Accord last month in the American market. It even has some of the design cues of the Accord, like that eyelash extension of the rear quarter window. Inside, the instrument panel has a very clean look with long horizontal lines and none of that 3-layer stacking that's used on the Accord. The use of interior materials is good, and some parts look downright sophisticated. There's a honeycomb trim piece made of metal on the dash that hides the HVAC vents, and those vents are controlled by little joysticks that feel solid and precise. Nothing cheap about them. The seats are soft, comfortable, and offer good lumbar support. There's a standard 7-inch screen or an optional 9-inch one that's easier to use thanks to bigger icons and fewer menus. Engineering-wise, Honda stiffened up the structure of the car, added more sound-suppressing material, and even anchored the engine down better to reduce NVH, and it shows. The suspension was retuned for a smoother ride, and the Civic is now the kind of car you could comfortably take on a long road trip while you listen to the excellent Bose audio system. Under the hood is a naturally aspirated 2-liter engine that develops 158 horsepower, or you can choose a 1.5-liter turbo that makes 180 horsepower, which is what we drove. Both are mated to a CVT that really doesn't feel like a CVT thanks to its shifting in steps. Different trim lines with either engine will yield between 33 to 36 miles to the gallon. The base Civic starts at around $23,000, but the top-of-the-line touring model we drove costs $29,300. And of course, we always include destination charges when we can when we quote prices. That is a lot of money for what used to be an entry-level car, but then again, you get a lot of car for the money. Pininfarina, the Italian design house that's now owned by Indian automaker Mahindra, is known for coming up with some of the most iconic vehicle designs of all time. And now it's showing off a very unique wedge-shaped concept called the Teorema. No surprise, it's electric and autonomous, but what makes this car really unique is that it was designed completely using virtual reality. Along with a scalable and modular architecture, Pininfarina says VR makes the design process faster and more efficient, and it sounds like it hopes to implement it with future projects. And that's the end of today's show. Don't forget to tune in to Autoline After Hours later this afternoon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here again tomorrow.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. Wacker, creating tomorrow's solutions. And by Magna.